You are holding three quotes from three different contractors. Or maybe you are standing in a showroom, staring at a wall of model numbers, and none of the people trying to help you are giving you a clear answer about which unit is actually going to last. That moment, that specific frustrating moment, is exactly what this video is for. I have paid close attention to this industry for a long time. I have watched folks spend serious money on units that failed in 4 years, and I have watched modest budget brands run quietly and reliably for 15 years with nothing but basic care. After seeing what fails and understanding why, I can tell you that most of the guidance people get when they go shopping for an air conditioner is either incomplete, brand-driven, or just wrong. The name on the box is the least important thing. The marketing around efficiency ratings is often oversold, and the warranty that sounds so reassuring has more holes in it than most people realize. I am going to walk you through what actually matters: compressor type, coil material, proper sizing, installation quality, and the warranty fine print, so that by the end of this video, you know more than most people who have already been through this purchase, and you walk into any contractor meeting knowing exactly what to ask. If you want a written reference to take with you while you shop, there is an ebook in the description below that lays out the full buyer's checklist in one place. Check the description if that sounds useful. Let me start with the uncomfortable truth about why air conditioners fail earlier than they should these days. The industry has changed significantly over the past couple of decades. Units are built lighter than they used to be, with thinner materials, in part because manufacturers are engineering toward lower costs and higher efficiency ratings. That is not a conspiracy. It is the reality of a competitive market, but it means the failure points are different from what they were when the unit in your parents' house ran for 25 years without complaint. The single biggest culprit, in my view, is the shift to aluminum coils. Most manufacturers today, including many of the well-known names, use aluminum in both the evaporator coil inside and the condenser coil outside. Aluminum is cheaper and lighter than copper, but aluminum is vulnerable to a problem called formicary corrosion. That is what happens when trace airborne chemicals, things like cleaning products, adhesives, paints, and certain gases found in newer construction materials, react with the aluminum over time and eat tiny pinholes through the metal. Once those pinholes form, refrigerant leaks. Once refrigerant leaks, the system loses efficiency, the compressor works harder than it should, and the whole machine ages faster. The old copper coils resisted that kind of corrosion far better. Some manufacturers still use copper, or use aluminum coils with a protective coating. That distinction is worth asking about before you sign anything. The second issue is the rise of single-stage compressors in lower-priced units. A single-stage compressor runs at full power, or it does not run at all. Every time it kicks on, there is a surge of mechanical stress on the components. In a warm climate where the system cycles on and off many thousands of times across a season, that repeated stress accumulates. That pattern explains why so many units sail through the warranty period and then start showing serious problems in years 6 through 9. It is not bad luck. It is the logical result of a design that prioritizes upfront cost over long-term durability. The compressor is the heart of your air conditioning system and the most expensive single component inside it. If it fails, the repair cost often approaches the price of a new unit, which means most folks end up replacing the whole system. That makes the compressor type the most important decision in this entire purchase, and I want to walk through the three types clearly. A single-stage compressor is on or off, full blast or nothing. It is the most common design in entry-level and mid-range units, and there is nothing fundamentally wrong with it. Plenty of single-stage units have had long, uneventful lives, but it creates the most mechanical wear over time, and it makes your home less comfortable, the temperature swings up and down around the set point because the system can only respond in one large increment. A two-stage compressor has a low setting and a high setting. On most days it runs at the lower stage, pulling less electricity, running in longer and gentler cycles, and keeping your home at a steadier temperature. On the hottest days, it ramps up to full power. The machine experiences less stress in normal operation, and most people find the comfort noticeably better than with a single-stage unit. I think two-stage represents a genuine sweet spot for most households, a meaningful step up in durability and comfort without the full premium of the top tier. A variable speed or inverter compressor is the most sophisticated of the three. It can operate across a wide range of speeds, adjusting continuously to deliver exactly the amount of cooling your home needs at any moment. These systems tend to run in long, slow, nearly silent cycles. They are the gentlest on their own components. They also do a far better job of controlling humidity because longer run times give the system more opportunity to pull moisture out of the air. If you have ever lived in a home that stays cool by the thermometer but still feels stuffy and damp, a variable speed system would likely change that. The trade-off is that these units cost more upfront. But from everything I have observed, the long-run durability advantage is real, and the reduction in monthly energy costs helps close that gap over years of use. If it were me choosing between spending more money on a higher brand name or spending that same money to move from a single stage to a two-stage or variable speed compressor, I would take the better compressor every time. Now, about brands. People ask me constantly which brand to buy, and I understand why. You want a simple answer. The honest truth is slightly more complicated, but let me give you my actual opinion. Several large corporations own multiple air conditioning brands. Carrier and Bryant come from the same corporate family. Trane and American Standard share common roots. Lennox owns several lines under their umbrella. This means that what look like competing brands on the showroom floor often share significant engineering lineage. The differences show up in specific model lines, component choices, and the quality of the dealer and support network in your area. With that context, here is what I genuinely think. Trane and Lennox have long-standing reputations for building durable residential equipment. Lennox in particular has put serious engineering resources into their upper-tier product lines over the years. Carrier has solid offerings across most of their range. All three of these tend to cost more, and in this case the premium is at least partially justified by component quality and dealer infrastructure. On the more affordable end, Daikin, a major Japanese manufacturer that acquired the Goodman brand, produces equipment that offers real value when it is properly sized and installed. I have seen Goodman units run reliably for 15 years. I have also seen them fail in 5 years. The difference was almost always installation quality and maintenance, not the equipment itself. The brand matters, but it matters less than what happens the day the unit goes in. The brands I am most cautious about are the deep discount labels, sometimes sold through online marketplaces or big box retailers with limited local dealer support. When your system needs service, and eventually it will, you want a technician nearby who knows the equipment and can get parts without a long wait. That local support network has real value. Now I want to talk about efficiency ratings honestly, because this is an area where the marketing can lead you in the wrong direction. Every unit you look at carries a SEER number, Seasonal Energy Efficiency Ratio, which measures how efficiently the unit converts electricity into cooling. Higher is more efficient. The minimum for new units sold in most of the country is currently in the mid-teens, depending on your region. Here is my honest take. Moving from a low-efficiency unit up to a solidly mid-range unit produces real savings on your electric bill, and those savings are noticeable over years of operation. But chasing the very highest SEER numbers comes with a law of diminishing returns. Those ultra-high efficiency units carry a significant price premium, and in a climate where you run the system 5 or 6 months a year, the payback period can stretch longer than many people expect. In a genuinely hot climate, where the system runs hard for 8 or 9 months, the math looks better. The sweet spot for most households is a unit in the middle of the available efficiency range, paired with a good compressor type. Do not buy the cheapest unit. You are trading future repair bills for upfront savings. But do not chase the highest SEER rating as though it guarantees reliability, because it does not. Also worth knowing, the industry has adopted a new measurement called SEER 2 that uses a slightly different testing standard. The numbers appear lower than the old SEER figures, but the equipment is not less efficient. The test methodology changed. Do not let that confuse you during your shopping. If you want a step-by-step way to calculate your actual payback period based on your climate and typical usage, the guide linked in the description below walks through that in plain terms. Let me come back to coil material for a moment, because it deserves a direct recommendation. Ask every contractor and dealer this specific question. Are the evaporator and condenser coils copper or aluminum? And if aluminum, what kind of protective coating do they carry? A contractor who cannot answer that question without going to look it up is not someone I would want installing my equipment. If you live within a few miles of salt water, or in an industrial area where airborne chemicals are a factor, this question becomes even more critical. Salt air is genuinely hard on bare aluminum coils. In those environments, copper coils or high-quality coated aluminum coils are worth paying for, and a quality condenser cover or louvered protection for the outdoor unit adds another layer of defense. I have watched people in coastal areas replace their condenser 2 and 3 times in 15 years because they bought a standard unit that was not suited to their specific environment. That is an avoidable and expensive mistake, and the way to avoid it is simply asking the right question at the right moment. Now let us talk about the warranty, because there is a gap between what it sounds like and what it actually covers. Most major brands advertise a 10-year parts warranty on registered equipment. That sounds solid, but there are several things buried in those terms worth knowing. First, registration. Many manufacturers require you to register the equipment within a specific window after installation, sometimes 30 days, sometimes 90, or the warranty period shortens dramatically. Make sure your installer handles this, or do it yourself immediately after the system is running. Second, and this catches a lot of people off guard, the manufacturer's warranty almost never covers labor. If the compressor fails in year 7, the part may be covered. The diagnosis, removal, and installation labor, which can easily run several $100s, comes out of your pocket. This is why I always ask the installing contractor about their own labor warranty. A confident, reputable installer will stand behind their work for at least a year, often 2. Some of the best ones go further. Third, most warranties include a maintenance requirement. If the system fails, and you cannot show proof of regular professional service, the manufacturer may deny the claim. Keep your maintenance records. This brings me to installation, and I want to be emphatic about this. A quality unit installed carelessly will fail before a modest unit installed correctly. The installation is the most important variable in how long your system lasts, more important than the brand or the price. Several things go wrong regularly during installation. Improper sizing is the most common. An undersized unit runs constantly and cannot keep up on hot days. An oversized unit short cycles. It reaches the set point quickly, shuts off, and kicks back on in a few minutes. Over and over, never running long enough to properly dehumidify your home, and creating repeated mechanical stress. A proper installation begins with a load calculation for your specific home, sometimes called a manual J, that accounts for your square footage, ceiling height, insulation levels, window area, orientation, and local climate. Ask every contractor whether they do this. If they quote based solely on the tonnage of the old unit, that is not adequate. Refrigerant charge is another common issue. A system not charged to the manufacturer's specification runs inefficiently and ages faster. Ask your installer to verify and document the charge at startup. And ask about the ductwork. Many homes have duct systems with significant leakage, either from age or from original construction shortcuts. A new efficient unit connected to a leaky duct system is a waste of money. A good contractor will inspect and test the ducts as part of the job. If you are working through this and want others who have been through the same decisions to weigh in, the Ask Big Jim community is a good place to be. We talk through real situations like this one regularly. Consider subscribing so you are part of those conversations. Once your unit is running, the maintenance that actually extends its life is not complicated. The most important thing is the air filter. A clogged filter restricts airflow, causes the system to work harder than it needs to, raises your electric bill, and shortens equipment life. Depending on the filter type and your home environment, changing it every 1 to 3 months is the right range. If you have pets, or anyone in the household with respiratory sensitivities, lean toward the shorter end of that range. The outdoor condenser coil should be cleaned at least once a year, typically as part of a spring service visit. Dust, pollen, grass clippings, and debris collect in the fins and reduce the system's ability to shed heat. Keep at least 2 feet of clear space around the outdoor unit on all sides, and have a technician check the refrigerant charge, electrical connections, and condensate drain line every year or two. A basic annual tune-up runs somewhere in the range of $100 to $150 depending on your area, sometimes a bit more. That modest investment regularly catches small problems before they become compressor replacements. Let me bring this together for you now. The air conditioning market is built around brand recognition and efficiency numbers, because those are easy to advertise. The things that actually determine whether your unit lasts 10 years or 20, compressor type, coil material, proper sizing, installation quality, and maintenance, are harder to put on a spec sheet and easier to skip past in a sales conversation. That is exactly why most folks end up disappointed. This week, if you are actively shopping, ask every contractor 2 questions. What compressor type does this unit have? And will you show me the load calculation for my home? Those 2 questions tell you more than anything else about whether you are dealing with someone who actually knows what they are doing. This month, if you already have a running system, schedule a tune-up if you have not had one in the past year. Protect what you have, and you may get another decade out of it. There is an ebook in the description below with the full checklist, coil questions, warranty red flags, what to ask your installer, and how to think about the sizing conversation. Take a look before your next contractor meeting, and if you have been through this before, if you bought a unit that gave out too soon, or found a brand that has quietly served you well for years, I would genuinely like to hear about it in the comments below. Your real-world experience helps other folks who are standing right where you were. Next time, I am going to talk about heat pumps, what they actually do, when they make good sense, and when the salespeople are overselling them. If you are anywhere near a decision on a new system, that one is worth watching first. If this video gave you something useful, hit subscribe. Ask Big Jim is here every week with plain, honest talk on the things that matter around the home. No fluff, no pitch, just the straight version of what I have actually learned.